I see a major difference from season 1 Ted.
Thank you.
Okay, flaunt for the camera. Season 1 Ted to this new season 7 Ted. So I just want to know, like, what inspired you to, like, make this change in your physique and just to tone up in general. Here's the picture right here from your Instagram.
Damn, I was big.
Yeah. But you're looking good now, so that's all that matters.
So I look bad then, is what you're saying?
I mean, you didn't look bad.
That's crazy.
You didn't look bad. You still the teddy bear Ted, but this new Ted, I'm feeling it.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. But just, you know, when we got on TV, it's something that just happened. Like, going into it, we didn't think we was going to be on television, so I wasn't watching my weight or nothing like that.
Right.
And for the first couple of seasons, people were like, oh, that's the fat kid from Black King, with the girl seeing the fat kid. And I'm like, I'm not the fat kid. Like, I'm chilling. Then I went to IKEA one day, I'm buying some hangers. I got on the scale said 275.
Are you serious?
I said, oh shit, I may be the fat kid.
Wow.
And then, like, I'm always in the doctor. Like, I'm one of those people. I'm always getting physicals. I'm always getting checked, make sure I'm good.
Yeah.
And my doctor told me I was at risk for, like, diabetes, all type of shit. So I said, you know what? Let me come down and weigh. And then also, like, I'm on television. Like, why would I want to be overweight on television? Like, let me get my shit together. So,
Absolutely.
So I hit the gym.
That diabetes thing is no joke. And, you know, that's very prominent in our community.
Exactly.
So, you know, you definitely got to be careful.
And it runs in my family. Like, my grandma's passed away from it. So I was like, you know what? Let me focus on my health a lot more before I be sitting somewhere with a whole bunch of money and be mad at myself.
Yeah, and you don't want to be laid up.
Right.
So, you know, talking more about your diet, have you changed the way you eat? Like, I know that you don't eat red meats anymore. So is there anything else that you've changed in the interim?
I don't eat no fried foods. I don't eat no red meats. Like, I stick to, like, trying not to eat carbs. But your body absolutely needs carbs.
Absolutely.
So I try not to put that much carbs in my body because, you know, carbs turn into sugar. Sugar's not good for your body. Like, I can really go deep into this whole, like.
Yeah.
But as far as me, just no fried foods, no red meat. One of the things I'm trying to cut out now in my diet is chicken also. Like, I was eating a piece of chicken the other day and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know what this is. Like, people say it's chicken, but there's not enough chickens in the world to really
make all these chickens.
Ted to be sitting
Somebody
here
cloning these chickens out here.
This is not a chicken. So I said, you know what? Since I don't know what this is that I'm putting in my body, maybe I shouldn't be putting it in my body. So I'm slowly leaning towards no chicken.
Okay. Do you think that, sidebar, do you think that you'll ever, like, slowly become, like, vegetarian possibly? Or do you eat fish?
Yes.
Pescatarian maybe?
Maybe pescatarian, but you know, a lot of fish is also not good for you. It has the mercury and the cholesterol and everything else, so that's not even too good for you. So I don't know, maybe vegan one day at some point. Like, we had a tattoo artist that was vegan, and we had a vegan spot around the corner from the tattoo shop. And we used to always, like, once a week, I'll try and go eat the food and try, but it wasn't really my thing. But like, I'm a mentally strong person, so if I do decide to go vegan, I'll slowly ease into it, and it's a possibility. Okay.
And I hear on social media a lot, people are always, like, trying to go the right steps to eating right. So for someone who's been through it and is still going through it, what advice do you have for people watching the show who want to know how to eat better but just don't know how to make that first step?
Do it on your own. Like a trainer, like a nutritionist, they're not going to be home with you all the time. So they can tell you, don't do this and don't eat that. Like, it's something you really have to do on your own. So, like, slowly cut everything out. Like, if you sit at home, say you eat a pack of Oreos, eat 2 Oreos a night. And slowly your body, like, you don't even want the Oreos no more. Then just take it from there. Just take it in slow steps. And, like, you can't make the drastic change and say, you know what, I want to change my diet. The next day, I'm not eating this no more. Like, it's not humanly possible. So I say take slow steps and just do it on your own. Like, you know what's good for your body, you know what's not good for your body. Just slowly cut them out.
Well, y'all listen to Ted because clearly he knows what it takes to have a good body and he gets the ladies. So you want to take his advice because he knows what he's doing. So moving forward on a different note, I know that you've always been, like, active in the community and you've never been scared to speak about your upbringing, you know, growing up in the Bronx. So I want to take this time for people at home to get to know you so they can get to know you outside of the shop. Because, you know, on social media, people have their own perception of you and things of that nature. So I want to clear the air and let people have the opportunity to get to know you. So tell me about your upbringing in the Bronx. Like, what part of the Bronx are you from?
I'm from the Bronx, 174th Street, Vice Ave. If you're from the Bronx, you know that's, like, one of the most notorious neighborhoods in the Bronx. Very dangerous place. Like, but that's my upbringing, that's my background, that's where I come from. Like, people see the TV show and they think, like, we're actors and we got casted for a television show. And, like, nah, I'm from the streets. Like,
now, I know that I read an article before that out of your brothers, you're the only son that's out of jail and your other brother's incarcerated. So I just want to know, is there any update on that? Like, what's the status with your brother now?
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know when this is gonna air. I don't know if it's live or whatever.
Okay.
But my younger brother, the one I was talking about on the show, he just basically took a plea deal for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's actually serving his sentence now. Correctional facility. So when he was sentenced, he had 4.5 in. So he maybe got to do like another 7, maybe.
Yeah.
Then my older brother, he was sentenced to 25 years to life. He'll be coming home next year.
Oh, great.
Yeah, then his son, which is my nephew, he's actually in Bear Hill with my brother. So actually out of all the males besides my father, I'm the only one that's free.
Well, I mean, you definitely are like a true success story, and I want to get more into that. But tell me about, like, before we get into the success story, tell me about Ted growing up. So, like, what were you like in school, favorite subjects? What did you do, like, in your meantime? Like, how did you get caught up in, like, the street stuff in the Bronx?
All kids, all young black kids, I had hoop dreams. I thought I was going to go to the NBA, so I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club playing basketball. That's what kind of kept me out of a lot of trouble. That's why I like how you said, a lot of people don't know how involved I'm in with the communities and stuff like that. And like a lot of things I do is with the Boys and Girls Club. And that's because I grew up in the Boys and Girls Clubs and it kept me out of trouble.
Absolutely.
But to get back to your question is, I thought I was going to the NBA. Then at like high school, like I was still like 5'10", 5'11". I said, this ain't gonna work out too good. So then after high school, I mean, during high school, I stopped playing ball and it was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I started like working regular jobs here and there. Like I was working in the mail room, I worked in Foot Locker, of course. The only thing I never really did.
Can we get into the sneakers, please?
Yeah, that's kind of where my sneaker fetish came from too. Then like, the only thing I never really did was fast food. I never worked in a fast food restaurant. Never did that. And then when I was like 19, 20 years old, my mom's got locked up and I got involved in the streets.
Wow, okay. So, I mean, you know, for people at home, I mean, so many people that I know personally can relate to your story. A lot of their family members are incarcerated, and, you know, it weighs them down so much because, you know, you feel like you're out here alone and there's nobody here that you can actually, like, talk to on a regular basis, see your family members. That's very major as well. So I want to know, is there any advice that you can give to people? Because we know that having a family member locked up is never easy, but you have to keep going and stay strong for them. I'm getting emotional because I can relate to that.
It's very
so I just want to know, like, what advice do you have for people at home who are dealing with this and just, like, don't know how to cope?
I've never been asked that question. But honestly, the only advice I could give is just be there for your family member. Don't turn your back on them. Like, pick up the phone, make sure you make them phone calls. Whatever money you have, try and put money on their books. Make sure, like, they're in a bad place, so you got to try and make sure they're as comfortable as they can. Like, you have your freedom, you're able to move around. So if you got to make sacrifices and not eat for one night, then put some money on your family members' books. Just make sure they're good. If it's sending them pictures, sending them magazines, whatever they ask for, just try and get it done.
Right. And I'm sure that your brothers and your nephew are very proud of you. You know, you're on VH1, and I'm glad that you're using your platform in a good way, because a lot of the times we see celebrities on social media, and once they get this platform, it's like they have this air to them, and they forget, like, the people who grew up with them, or the people who need their help, or even their own family members. So I'm just glad to see that you are using your platform in the right way. So back to the creative outreach and community service, you are no stranger to that again. And I read an article that last year, I think it was, you went to Catskill Community Center and, like, was teaching the kids, like, how to stay out of violence and just, like, you know,
you really did your own work.
Absolutely.
Like, stuff like that. Like, yeah, that was my 3rd event in Catskill. And, like, the reason why, like, what drew my attention to Catskill is I had a homie from my block that went away to jail. He did like maybe 15 years. And like he was one of the terrors on the block. Like I mean, like
heavy.
And he came home and he wanted to change his life. So he reached out to me and he was like, "Yo, can we do something in the Boys and Girls Club? I'll pay you like whatever your booking fee is." And I was like, "Nah, bro, I ain't gonna charge you no booking fee, especially if it got something to do with the kids.
That's
like,
real.
Just give me the date and I'm gonna be there."
Right.
And I went there and like. They're going through a lot of things up there. Like, they're really trying to shut our communities down. Like, as far as our Boys and Girls Club, they're taking away our programs. They're taking away our curricular programs in schools. Like, it's really dumbing our kids down. So when I was there, I said, you know what? I haven't been in a Boys and Girls Club in a long time. But now that I'm here and I see what's going on, I want to stay a part of this. Like, I'm not one of those quote-unquote celebrities that's going to go take pictures of the kids, post it, try and get the likes, and forget about it. So, like you said, if you've been paying attention, it's my 3rd time in Catskill. I'm actually about to go back up there because it was a kid that lost his family up there. So I told him I wanted to do something for him. He's a fan of Kyrie Irving. So
Okay,
I have a dude that's cool with Kyrie Irving, so I want to set it up to where they could meet each other and like probably get them a signed basketball. Just make something
Right,
memorable
just something.
for them. Like,
Absolutely, make somebody's day.
Had I not grew up in the Boys and Girls Club and I went to the Boys and Girls Club, I probably wouldn't have paid it no mind when I went to the Boys and Girls Club in Catskill. But me growing up and me seeing how the gyms are, there's no nets on the basketball court, there's no programs in there. It's like, what is this building here for? What are they doing? I know they're providing the funds. Where's this money going? So it's like, you know what? Let me get a little bit more involved in this and see if I can help the best way I can.
Right. Now, I know you just mentioned just now that you were like very strong on basketball and that was your dream. But more towards the creative side, because I read that you were teaching kids, like, you know, if you want to be a tattoo artist, that's fine. If you want to be an artist, a painter. Were you ever in tune to your creative side, or do you feel like that came as you got older?
That came along with C's becoming a tattoo artist, and then like him becoming a businessman and me following up and us becoming business partners and me seeing like how much of an impact we're making on our community as black men. It's either you slinging crack rock, or you got a wicked jump shot.
Absolutely.
But now we changing that demographic. Like that kid that's sitting down, drawing on paper and not paying attention to his teacher, you know you can do something with that. I'm saying you can own a business, you can become a tattoo artist, you can become an entrepreneur. Like you're not just sitting there drawing on your desk no more, and the kid that's crossing over and shooting all the jump shots is getting all the girls and everybody's overlooking you. It gives you a different type of check.
I agree. Totally
and then we're also employing our community. Like a lot of people don't pay attention to that also. We have 6 shops in the restaurant. We have over 60, 70 black people employed.
Yep, black people, okay? Can we get into that? Black people, thank you. That's so important. I was telling Ted about this, you know, before we started filming backstage, but I was saying, like, I am a fan of the show. I've been watching from the beginning, so I am glad to see, like, just the progress and how far you guys have come from 1 shop to 2 shops, and then from the 2 shops in New York to branching into Atlanta, and then like you said, New Orleans, and going to Orlando in the restaurant. I think it's so important that as black people, we show our community like that we can be more than just the stereotype and the statistic that they want us to be.
Exactly.
We can hone our creative side and, you know, do great things in our community, and like you said, give our people opportunities for jobs, because they're not trying to hire us. As soon as we walk through the door, they have their own preconceived notion of who we are and what we're about. So that's great. I applaud y'all for that. I'm glad you segued into Black Ink, because you already, I'm gonna go in tonight. So
cool. I guess we could talk about Black Ink.
Yes, we will be talking about Black Ink tonight.
Thank you for showing like there's another side to Ted besides just Black Ink.
And you know what? Maybe because I work in TV, I know that like for someone who may not be that familiar with how pre-production goes and planning and finding set locations and casting crew, I feel like people who are not aware of that side of production feel like whatever they see on TV is it. Like C's and Donna had a fight and that's how it is for real, but they don't know like other things transpire throughout that. But going back to Black Ink, you are super busy, whether it's making schedules, flying to Atlanta to host a party, boot up. Either way, you're always busy, but somehow you always manage to find time. So I'm curious to know, how do you find time to just make sure everything is in tune, everything is on one accord, and that you get your business done, being so busy?
Anybody that knows Ted knows I have like 6 different phones. Like for everything I do, I got a social media phone, I got a business phone, I got a personal phone. My number one thing is putting that phone down. Like I got a business phone, so if that phone rings, if anything, I know that's an email, that's about some money, that's production. Like, so sometimes you just gotta put that phone down. Like I'm very big on self-discipline.
Yes.
And we lose that with social media, and a lot of people don't know these apps and social media was created to dumb our people down.
Yes,
they
intentional.
don't want us to know what's going on in the world. They want us to know what's going on in the shade room.
Absolutely. And they want us to know who slept with who instead of voting, which so many of us did not do, which I'm disappointed in my people, because voting is important. Don't let nobody tell you different. Did you vote?
No, I didn't vote.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I understand the importance of voting. I have my reasons for not voting. We could probably get into that another time, because that's a very big discussion that needs to be brought to the table too. But I have my reasons for not voting now. Before, it was because I had a felony. But they erased that, luckily. Now, as long as you're not on parole, or if you're convicted of a felony, you can still vote. I want everybody to know that. I don't know which way I'm looking at these cameras.
You're looking right here.
To all my people, I said I didn't vote, but if you have a felony, you have your rights to vote. You can go out and vote, and it's very important that we do vote. But we need to start voting within our communities. As far as presidencies and mayors and everything, that's cool. We need to start at our community. Start getting on these community boards and start voting these stores out of our community. Start voting on what needs to be brought back into our community.
Absolutely.
Like, we can make the change there.
Yes. Agreed. Now, this is wonderful. And like I said, I'm so glad that people are getting to see you outside of the show. Because I feel like I feel like we're best friends in my head all along. So I feel like you're a very well-rounded individual, and people don't see that. They only see the drama and what VH1 puts out there. They don't see this. So I'm just glad that we're taking this time to let people know that you are a person, you know, you do have values and morals and, you know, ethics outside the show. I want to ask you one more question before we go back to Black Ink. I heard that you have your own clothing line. So can you tell me a little bit about the brand? What inspired you to get into fashion?
I don't know how this is leaking out so much, but I am working on my own clothing line. As far as now, I did a collaboration with We All In Clothing, and I did like a t-shirt to go along with my Patrick Ewing. Like, I did a collaboration with Ewing brand, so I have my own sneaker now, and then I did the collaboration with We All In Clothing as far as t-shirts. Like, I'm cooking something up. I am working on my very own clothing line, but not just yet. Okay,
well, if you need a model,
I got you.
You need me to be camera left, camera right.
All right, I got you.
You need me, I'm here. You need me to be swagged out, little Kim pose,
all right,
I got
so
you.
that's helping Catskill and you can model. All right.
I got you.
I'm listening.
I got you. You know I don't lie. Y'all know I don't lie about nothing.
Pay attention. That's one thing I do.
We have more coming up with Ted from Black Ink Crew, so don't go anywhere. Coming up next on my playlist is Fat Joe, Chris Brown, and Dre with Attention. This is Kicking It with Simone. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Kicking It with Simone. Thank you guys for staying tuned in, and I hope you are having a good time. I hope you are learning something from Ted. Again, this is Ted from Black Ink Crew. The ever so swagged out Ted. Can I get it? Okay, before we continue, I've been looking at these sneakers all night. Please tell me what these are. And what brand is this? The sweater you got? Balenciaga Poppy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kicks is Balenciaga.
I see you
track
swagged
joints.
out.
Know what I'm saying? Limited color.
Okay.
Flannel by Hackula.
Okay. I'm feeling it.
He's a New York designer.
I'm feeling it. Well, shout out to him if he's watching right now. Now,
yeah, send me a few pieces, man. I made this one look good.
Absolutely, and you can send me something too.
And this shit wasn't cheap neither. So
okay,
look out.
Get into that. Now, yes, I want to get back into Black Ink. So for some people who don't know, are you and C's really cousins?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I want to know how you started working at Black Ink. Because I heard you touch on it briefly that, you know, once you came out of incarceration that you started working at Black Ink. But people don't know, like, the exact story, how deep-rooted it is, and how much of a success story it is, like I always say.
When C's first told me that he was going to be tattooing, like, I laughed at him. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm sitting there counting some money. I'm like, tattooing? Psh, get out of here with that shit. Like, we in these streets, like, we chilling. Tattooing, they going to get you no money.
Right.
Then I went to jail. Then I came home. And C's had a tattoo shop. And he had a tattoo shop in Brooklyn. And that shop kept me out of a lot of trouble. Like, instead of me trying to hit the streets and trying to figure out my next dollar, I sat in the shop with C's. But when we was in Brooklyn, it was like, yo, we not from Brooklyn. Like, we Bronx kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody out here, not to say nothing about Brooklyn, because I don't want nobody coming at me.
Right, we want no smoke. We want no smoke.
Shout out to
no
Brooklyn.
Smoke,
I fuck with y'all. But it's like everybody out there, they want Brooklyn bridges. They want, like, they stick to certain tattoos. I say, yo, bro, you're a good tattoo artist. I laughed at you. You know what I'm saying? You doing these Brooklyn bridges, you're never going to elevate. Let's go back uptown and figure it out.
Okay. Uptown is where it's at. Okay, Harlem born and raised. Uptown is popping. Is where it's at.
So we went to Harlem, Black Ink. It was owned by somebody else. C's was a worker there. Long story short, shit got flipped around. C's wound up being the owner, and that's how I got my position at Black Ink.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I always wonder this because, you know, like, being that it's a reality show, I know that it must have been some kind of adjustment and change for you to be in front of the cameras 24/7, like having cameras in front of you, signing releases, you know, and getting, like, the scrutiny and backlash on social media. So I want to know, for you, during the first season, how was it for you, like, just the adjustment in general? Like, how was that for you?
Good question. Like, going into Black Ink, I was never supposed to be on the show.
Really?
I was supposed to be in the background. I was supposed to be, like, more on the production side of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got the cameras through the doors of Black Ink.
Right.
So when the whole reality show thing was brought about, it was like, I'm going to work in the background. Y'all do the TV thing. But me being around so much and always being in C's and me being the only one to say, yo, cuz, chill out. Yo, do this. Yo, don't do that. Yo, shit. Everybody was like, yo, who's this kid? So they wound up giving me a contract. But the adjustment, like, I'm still adjusting. 7 seasons later, like, me sitting here with you, it's like, I'm still adjusting.
So, I want to go back to Black Ink. When you first started, did you ever have, like, any clashes with employees in the beginning? Like, disagreements, jealousy maybe, because they knew that UNC's had, like, a special relationship and it wasn't just a business thing?
Not in the beginning. Like, in the beginning, everybody understood what I was to Black Ink. And like I said early in this interview, like, I'm the one that got the cameras through the door. So everybody understood. But now we got, like, a lot of new cast members, a lot of people who wasn't there from day one, and they get caught up with the hype of everybody else. So what does Ted do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe now I get, like, a few backlash, but I'll check it real quick and people understand.
Now, back to season 1 again. It was rumored that you and Sassy had a little something going on, but it was never confirmed. Nobody ever said anything. Y'all just left us in haywire. Y'all left us back in Brooklyn on that. I don't want to incriminate you, but if you can elaborate a little bit without spilling the beans.
I need to elaborate on that, and I'm not incriminating myself. There's nothing to incriminate myself about. Like, Sassy, that's the homie. There was never nothing there. Was never no flirtations, never anything. Sassy's just a beautiful individual. She's a very humble, like, loving person. So it was never anything there. That was just a big rumor, like you said, that just kind of got swept under the rug. And that was me being the type of person I am. Like, I'm not going to entertain it because it's not true. Like you said, it just kind of went away. Like, nobody has heard about that. But to elaborate, nothing has ever happened between me and Sassy. Like, shout out to Sassy. That's like my little sister.
Absolutely. I'm glad you clarified that. Because I'm like, damn, everybody interviewing Ted, nobody asking the deep-rooted shit that we want to know. Like,
nah.
Good to know. And you know what? I see how people would think that something really did happen, because back in season 1, I remember, like, you guys had, like, an argument or something, and she stormed out of the shop and quit. But the way it was edited, it looked as if, like, because you guys had something going on, that's the reason why she quit. So I'm so glad you clarified that, because us fans, us Black Ink fans, we want to know. So shout out to Sassy.
I even forgot about that, because like I said, it was never anything. So I did forgot about that, but I'm glad we cleared the air.
I'm going to make sure I post this on my personal show page so people will know, like, it came from Kicking It with Simone that Ted said nothing happened with Sassy, okay?
Ever.
Good to know. So, being that you never had anything going on with Sassy, I do remember the first female encounter you had. I could be wrong, because I thought you and Sassy had something, but Alex from season 1.
Now, that's a totally different story. Me and Alex, like, oh, man. Alex holds a special place in my heart.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh, my goodness.
I actually just got back in contact with Alex. Like, we didn't speak for a very long time. We're in contact now.
Oh, my, you know what? I'm trying to keep my composure because I'm trying to interview you, but at the same time, I'm, like, hyped because I feel like people, I could be wrong, but people ask you questions about the show. They don't ask about the stuff that, like, was swept under the rug. I was going to ask you, do you keep in contact with her? And, like, what made you decide to be like, you know what, even though she's a coworker of mine, I like her, let's hit it off. Let's see what we can do, what we can make of this. What was it about her?
Alex is a very intelligent female.
I can see that.
Me and Alex, first date, we sat and talked from, like, maybe 12 midnight to, like, maybe 8 in the morning.
Whoa.
About everything. Music, books, movies, childhood, everything. And it just made me look at her totally different. Like, everybody think Ted just wants to have sex and not talk to you no more. Like, I'm a very intelligent person. Like, that's what intrigues me most, like, my personality. And for me to deal with a female and actually mess with them, you have to be intelligent also.
Okay. Good.
So,
good.
And that was the one thing. And that was the one thing that made me, like, start to like Alex.
Okay. Because, you know, I'm glad we're talking about this, because I felt like I liked Alex, you know, despite the drama and people were saying, like, when she got drunk and all that stuff. But I liked her overall. I felt like she was really good for the shop. She had, like, a business mentality. Even when Duchess came at her for, like, talking to C's, she always kept, oh, Lord. We don't want to talk about Duchess. When D approached her about C's, but no, I'm saying, like, she remained, you know, neutral and, like, was like, I'm not getting involved in that. Whatever is between UNC's is UNC's. No, so I respected her for that. Oh, God.
Yeah, she tried to fuck him.
Oh Lord, just when I have faith. Just when I have faith.
I mean, this is my thing. Like, me and C's has been through that forever. Like,
yeah.
One of his females get mad at him. They try to
slide over to you.
So it's something that we've been dealing with for a long time. But C's knew at the time. Like, I like Alex.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was fucking with her, whatever the case may be. So he kind of just, nah, chill, Alex.
Right. Okay. But yeah, but you know what? I remember that because there was a scene where like she was like on the couch with him and he was like, "You looking real." I forgot what he said. But okay, so that makes sense. But let's go back to you keeping in contact. Like, have you spoken to her on the phone yet?
Yes, we spoke on the phone.
So I just want to know, you don't have to go into detail, but how was that first conversation after not speaking to her for so long? Was it like she's on good terms and like, yo, how you doing? Like, how's everything?
Like, I didn't know how she was going to approach the conversation because, like I said, we haven't spoken in so long and kind of how we fell out and how we stopped speaking was kind of like, so, but it was like nothing's ever changed.
Okay, that's good.
Nothing ever changed.
That's good. What's up? It's your girl Simone, and thank you guys so much for watching on my YouTube channel. If you like great and popping content like this, make sure you follow me on Instagram @_IamSimone_. You can DM me if you want to collab or if you have any suggestions on who should come on the show. Thanks so much for watching.